Në pjesën e parë të emisionit të sotëm kemi të ftuar bashkëdhetarin zotin Fatos Prishtina. Në Toronto njihet si një biznesmen i suksesshëm, pronar i dyqanit me ushqime të zgjedhura Cheese Boutique, kurse shqiptarët e vjetër e njohin si një veprimtar në komunitet dhe pinjoll i një familje adhetare nga Kosova. Historia e tij është një shembull shumë domethënës se si shpërnguljet e vazhdueshme të shqiptarëve gjatë shekullit të 20 nuk kanë prodhuar vetëm lot dhimbje, por edhe arritje vetjake dhe pasurim shpirtëror. Le të ndjekim në vazhdim bisedën që zhvillua me të përpara disa javësh. Agjencia Triworld tani pjesë e rrjetit fuqishëm Carlson Wagon Lead. Paketa pushimesh me çmime të mira dhe bileta ajrore për të gjitha drejtimet, përfshirë Tiranën, Prishtinën apo Shkupin. Sokol.biba, agjent shqiptar në shërbimin tuaj. Kur vjen puna për të zgjedhur agentin e shitblerjes së pronave, kërkoni ndeshmëri, besueshmëri, siguri, negocim dhe komunikim, mirësjellje dhe fuqi analitike. Diana Lika, standarde të larta profesionale dhe morale, një zgjedhje sigurt për një vendim të rëndësishëm. Një kujtim, një dëshirë dhe një mundësi. Adheu është më afër me Sunny Shores Travel. Blerës dhe shitës të shtëpive. Teuta Guci, eksperte në real estate dhe me përvojë të gjatë biznesi, ndihmon të bleni me çmim të ulët dhe të shisni me çmim të lartë për një kohë të shkurtër. Telefononi profesionisten Teuta Guci Prenga 416 824 5712. Fatos, mirë se djeta dhe faleminderit që pranove për një bisedë me Pasqyrën shqiptare.
Faleminderit zotni. I'm very happy that you are here, and I'm glad to be with you too at the same time, of course.
Here in Canada, especially in Toronto, you are known as one of the founding fathers of gourmet retail. But by the older generation of the Albanian community, you are known as a prominent figure in the community life. So let's begin with the family background. I would like to know where you come from and what is your family story.
My name is Fatos Prishtina. I was born in 1943, right in the middle of the war in Pristina. My grandfather is Jamal Prishtina. Some people call him Jamal Beg Prishtina. He was born in 1881. He was one of the founding, since you use the word founding fathers, he was one of the founding member of the Kongresi Lushnje. He played a prominent role in the liberation of Kosovo and therefore Albania. We are from Kosovo, but we are Albanian of Kosovo. The dream of my family was a united Albania. And that's where he fought for. He entered Pristina right after the Balkan Wars and liberated Pristina. It was a very critical historical moment. You know, we were fighting really the people who's been helping us for the last 400 years. So we were liberating. Really what the role of we were playing, we were turning my grandfather and that generation. We were turning our shoulders to the Orient. We were looking towards Europe. Albanians, of course, have been there forever. All the time they've been there. We are not immigrants. We are Albanians. We are all autochthon people of that area. But we didn't have for many years a national identity. We had an ethnic identity, but not a national identity, you see. And the generation of my grandfather started turning this thing out to create. What's happened, my grandfather lived as an immigrant in Tirana, because when Kosovo was giving to Yugoslavia, not even Yugoslavia really in that time. Serbia, when it was giving to Serbia, he could have not lived there. They would have not let him live there. So he, as a refugee, went to Tirana and lived a big part of his life in Tirana. While in those days they used to say the women stayed in Pristina. So the family, my father, my uncles and stuff like that, stayed in Pristina. He was very much involved with King Zogo in that movement, a nationalistic movement, Kosovo always had a very funny position in Albania because, you see, Albanians looked at us difficultly. They thought that we could have really not be a good patriot, a good nationalistic. And my grandfather had to prove himself that he was a nationalistic. I remember having heard that one, that my grandfather gave Besa to Zog. And then they created they looked at it, you're Turkoman, you're very religious, you are pro-Ottoman Empire, you can never become such a good Albanians. That was
Stereotypes.
the stereotype, that was the analysis. And a kind of, you see, that he had to go over that thing. And then they say that Zog got up for no one except for Jamal Beg. When Jamal Beg come, he heard Jamal Beg, Zog used to come and go and shake his hand and sit and stuff like that. So they built up a very good relationship. And my grandfather's really the biggest friendships and contact has been in Albania. He returned to Kosovo during the war, during Italian and German occupation. He was able to return.
When there were no more borders.
When there were no more borders, or we were all occupied by the same power. So in that sense, there was no borders. My Canadian passport says, born in Pristina, Albania.
Which was correct at the time.
Which I do consider it correct, and that's what it was. In 1943, when I was born, Pristina, Albania, my passport says so.
When did you leave then, Pristina?
I was born in 1943. 1944, we went to Tirana because partisans were coming. Pristina was, or Kosovo was occupied. They were coming from the north, and my father was in jail by the Nazis, and they were saying that many complex things, long stories. So he ran from Kosovo. The Germans kicked him out. He was in jail where they were going to, and then they said, "You're persona non grata, you cannot stay in Kosovo, get out." And then same thing, from Kosovo he went to Tirana. And this period, me, my mother, and my sister from Pristina, we went to Tirana. I stayed 9 months during the period of Enver Hoxha in Tirana. My father was out. My father was right away out. They went to the camps in Italy. We were not able to go out, so we stayed 9 months. And after 9 months, somehow we find a way to go out. We went to Italy too. In Italy, we stayed in the camps. So I was 3 years of age when I went to Italy. One of my first experiences, remembrance of my life, is waiting in a lineup with bowl, waiting for UNRWA, United Nations, giving us milk. We were in a room made of charshaf. You know what is charshaf? 4 charshaf is one room. As a child, I used to go and look at that other side because there was another family living there. And my mother saying, no, you cannot do that. Is one of my first memories I do have. And then, of course, those camps were temporary. You had to move, you had to go somewhere. Many people were moving to Canada, United States, Australia, somehow. But my father always, as I said, he was very active in politics all the time. This concept was to stay close, not to go far. Things are going to change, we're going to go back, and this thing. That's where we went from Italy to Turkey. And, King Zog was determined. He asked them to go and organize, because in Turkey there was a very, very big Albanian community. You see, in Turkey, in those same historic moment in Turkey, what was happening, their nationalism was coming up. They've been in an empire for very long. Their Turkness was not important. The Turk attitude was in those days, or you're Turk, or you are with us, or we. So it was not easy to be an Albanian in those days. And my father's role was there, to keep that flame on, to keep the flag keep on going and so on. I went to elementary schools in Turkey, high school in Turkey. In 1961, I went for school. I went to university in Italy.
In which one?
I went to the University of Naples, studied political sciences, and now I sell cheese. But circumstances of life, what is going to happen in life, one never knows. So then from there we went to Belgium, really always to follow my father's political interests and stuff like that. My father was a very, very good father, but Albania and Albanian cause came first, family came second. You know, my father's generation was a generation which fell in love. Like, you know, one man falls in love with a woman and you go crazy, you don't understand what's happened. That generation fall in love with Albania and Albanianness. I went to school in Bruxelles too. I went to University Livre de Bruxelles, studied sociology. Then, you know, Europe started getting to be a little very difficult and decided to come to Canada.
In what year?
1968. Immigrant, we start from zero. My mother used to say we start at 7 houses.
Now, when you went to the universities in Naples and Brussels, did you have in mind one day you could become an Albanian minister, following your father's wish and ideals?
Of course, if I say no, I would be lying. I mean, will I be a minister or not? I don't know. I'm a very democrat person. Genuinely, I do like history. I do like the history of people more than history of powers. I was brought up as an Albanian. Mm-hmm. Did I see it possible happening? I don't know.
Did your father ever understand that within his life he could never see a change in Albania?
My father always hoped to return to Albania. I don't believe, and I'm sure, you know, the circumstances of life, he was very ill, very seriously ill when the time was changing in Albania. Mm-hmm. But I have no doubt that if he had another 5 years of life, he would have returned to Albania, and I think he would have contributed things in Albania too. He had this charismatic personality. He had the hands-on political activities, which were very, very. It was his strength, you know. My father used to say, let him be Albanian, even if it's made of mud, let him be Albanian. He has taught me and my brothers, my sister too, that you are first Albanian, then you're Muslims or Christian or Orthodox or Catholic, you're first Albanian. You're first Albanian, then you're Democrat, you're Republican, then you are monarchist. Everything is secondary to it. Everything is at the function of being Albanian.
Fatos, you in your life have gone through all these movements and the environment changes. How have all this affected your life and personality?
In this stage of my life, I feel very Canadian. I feel Canada a very welcoming nation. It's a fantastic experimentation. It's more than experimentation, I think. It's a realization. We are Canadians. I proudly say that I'm a Canadian, but not it is permitted in Canada to be Albanian at the same time, but it is encouraged to be Albanian or Italian or whatever nationality you're coming from.
How do you express your Albanian identity in Canada?
All my sons do have Albanian names, and the whole family of mine has Albanian names, and we don't have no Muslim names, we don't have no Christian names, we have Albanian names. Agim is my oldest son, Ilir is my second son, Afrim is my third, and Aryan is my fourth son. My grandchildren, one of them is called Fatos, and the other one is called Ardiana. My sister, my brothers, they have all Albanian names.
In your shop you sell all kind of foods from all over the world. What do you eat at home? Albanian food?
And you see, I lived in Turkey too, so that culture, you know, of course there are cultural similarities in there. I have an Italian wife, which once an Italian marries an Albanian, they become Albanian, and she does cook many things which she has learned from my mother. Börek is the holiday meal of ours is börek, and elbasan tavası are those two main cardinal dishes. Then of course we do many other things with a color of Turkish too in there, which very similar to our cooking too.
Now let's focus on your business story. How did you come up to the idea of opening a delicatessen store, a gourmet store?
It's a 40 years business, this one, 41 years now. So 41 years ago, my father started as a small business for himself. And we were there to help. Slow by slow, my brother, my sister, as a family unit, my mother was involved into the business. To be honest, at the beginning, I used to snob cheese boutique. You know, I'm an intellectual. You know, I have to. In the '60s, we had to change the world, make revolutions and stuff like that. I cannot be a businessman. But slow by slow, I said, you know, you are in it, you are doing it. Try to do it well.
To become as a success story, what is your contribution, your personal contribution?
Really, the contribution is our life experience, knowledge of different cultures. The environment was right too. Yeah. Many people come to Cheese Boutique, they say, oh, how European store is that? No, in my opinion, Cheese Boutique is very much Toronto.
In terms of achievement, do you think we have to be proud of what we have achieved as Albanians in Canada, or disappointed?
No, I think we should be proud, and I think we are right at the beginning. Mm-hmm. I think the Albanian community in the next 5 to 10 years is going to be we are a small nation, we are a small people, we are never going to have the population which Italians and Greeks and Portuguese do have, mm-hmm. But in the limit of the possible, I think we should be, we should be very proud of what we are doing. We are very new immigrants in a certain, and I think the new immigration is very active, intellectually better prepared to live in a society like that.
Thanks a lot for talking to us today. It was a pleasure. Kur vjen puna për të zgjedhur agjendin e shitblerjes së pronave, kërkoni ndershmëri, besueshmëri, siguri, negocim dhe komunikim, mirësjellje dhe fuqi analitike. Diana Lika, standarde të larta profesionale dhe morale, një zgjedhje sigurt për një vendim të rëndësishëm. Agjencia Triworld ju mirëpret në zyrën e saj në 992 Eglinton West, ku mund t'i ktheni në vlerë udhtimi pikët e fituara nga përdorimi i kartave të Royal Bank. Triworld, një lehtësi më shumë për klientët e saj. Ardiani dhe Renata, një zgjedhje ekspertësh për shitblerje shtëpish, pronash tregtare dhe industriale, si dhe investime. Dëshironi të blini, shisni shtëpi dhe apartamente, qofshin këto dhe drejt për së drejti nga ndërtuesit, Ardiani dhe Renata janë gjithnjë të gatshëm t'ju shërbejnë.
vrada shnia e jote e pata vetëmen ne ke dje a me ka vrada shnia e jote e pata vetëmen ne ke dje o edhe shpiritin ma do që moj gote shumë të durova punoj mjer o edhe shpiritin ma do që moj gote shumë të durova punoj mjer Keme me lypo, s'keme me qete Dite dhe natë do qa ish për mu Keme me lype, s'keme me qete Dite dhe natë do qa ish për mu O kanë me tira dërmen Djallit e mija Por atëri s'ka me pazë dobi O kanë me tira dërmen Djallit e mija Por atëri s'ka me pazë dobi Sa i bukur mu i nuaji Qelini ljulet brano fila Ljulet sa i fusha kodra e mali Mirja kodika lezi bili bili Ljulet sa i fusha kodra e mali Mirja kodika lezi bili bili Tante bukra tu i këndue Dite bukra mu i temajit Qene ty jam dashuruen S'me largohesh kur prej malit Qene ty jam dashuruen S'me largohesh kur prej malit Dite bukra mu i temajit Me kezim po dalin i here Me dashinaren nërin i hije Filloj me kangen si për here Me dashinaren nërin i hije Filloj me kangen si për here Këtë stite Ajo është shejbe si dikri Me të likur e shikjaj Por me dore me prek zgutaj Me dore me prek zgutaj O shumë të du Mori lulja e prilli Du me mi kujtu Me mi kujtu Atuna që ta kom dhan Ajo është shejbe si një kri Me të likur e shikjaj Por me dorë me prej zgutaj Me dorë me prej zgutaj